Podcast starts now. Wow, 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 wow. Welcome to StraightioLab. We are coming at you coast to coast, George in New York, Sam in Los Angeles, California. And yet we're making it work.
Something we haven't, I don't think, said officially and on the record is that ever since you moved to LA, our recordings are now always on Fridays because you have Fridays off.
Mm-hmm.
So it is near constant TGIF vibes at StraightioLab HQ.
Yeah, I think people will really notice a shift in tone where, you know, when we started this podcast, it was sort of cranky. We were sort of always being like, oh, God, what a horrible mood I'm in. Now, because we only record on Fridays, we are elated to be here every single time. We are planning our big weekends and we are like, school's out for summer. It's kind of dishonest, I think. But
I think this is what I'm actually currently struggling with, if I may be so bold as to be vulnerable, because being vulnerable, there is strength in it.
Yes. Thank you for saying that.
And that is the topic of my new collection of essays called Unclench Your Jaw, Bitch! Exclamation point.
Yeah, I liked your previous title that was What Armor?
Well, they told me they told me at the big publishing house that would actually be too raw.
Yeah, and I get that. I really get that. It's just so visual. You know what I mean?
You know what's interesting is the sort of language of vulnerability has been so commodified and over commodified and like appropriated in a cynical way that now when someone is actually vulnerable, I am naturally suspicious.
I don't trust anyone who's vulnerable. Whenever someone's vulnerable, I'm like, okay, so you want profits. Yeah,
what are you trying to sell me?
Then stop it. Just tell me something fake about yourself and be honest with that.
Yeah, I almost feel, this is an insane thing to say, but I almost feel like I also, because of that, trust truly the institution of therapy and psychoanalysis less than I ever have. Because I'm like, well, if this was real, they wouldn't be able to make podcasts about it.
Well, needless to say, it's all false. Wait, you were about to be vulnerable, and then we got on a tangent.
Well, I was just going to say, I really am in a world historically bad mood for a Friday. And you know, when you are almost are trying to sort of bang your head against the wall and say to yourself, be in a better mood, but that's not working somehow. And so I came in and I'm already, I feel... I feel already guilty for not being elated enough that it's Friday, because I've been in a TGI. Well, I think I have been in a TGIF mindset every Friday in 2024, and this is the first one where I feel like I'm feeling Tuesday.
Well, I want to say thank you for sharing that. You know, it's so brave of you to say you're feeling Tuesday when it is, in fact, a Friday. And I think many, many people at home, yes, you feel like you're being vulnerable, but people are going to see that and they're going to say, look, I'm in Florida and I feel Tuesday on a Friday. And they're going to feel seen and heard because of you.
I hope so. I hope that my story can inspire others. I do think that I've decided that my personality and my vibe is like sort of Daria every day, but then on Fridays I'm like Charlie XCX DJing under a bridge.
Yeah. What am I on Monday through Thursday? I'm literally just like a father. Like I have children. I live in the suburbs. I go to work. I come home. I'm like, I just need a half hour. And then I change out of my work clothes. And then I say, what's for dinner? And then I watch 2 episodes of television. And then I go back to sleep.
No, I think you are fully father. And then I really have been bratty teen. I would say in 2024, I've been bratty teen.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, Rachel McAdams in The Family Stone, like in pajamas, rolling her eyes at everyone around her.
Yeah.
And then Friday is really the one day where I wake up and I say, for today, I'm going to be JoJo Siwa.
That's so beautiful. For me, every Friday, I realize, this life I'm living is a lie. I look at my wife and I say, we aren't in love. And I look at my children and I say, yeah, who are you? And then I come out of the closet every single Friday.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's both. I mean, it's bittersweet. It's
really bittersweet.
It's empowering. You are finally being yourself. But on the other hand, your 2 children are going to be scarred for life. And that's something a lot of people don't talk about with these self-empowerment narratives, is that there are victims.
There are, of course, victims. victims, and I victimize my children every single Friday. And when I come out of the closet and remember, wait, I'm LGBTQ plus, and I need to go out tonight.
Yeah, well, but it also does, in the long term, benefit them because they can potentially write a book of essays.
Yeah, no. I mean, even just win at sort of a college event. And like if someone's like, you're being problematic, and they're like, actually, my dad's fucking gay.
Ooh, that's a good point. Maybe they can make an inspiring speech in the halls of Congress one day.
You know, it's really unfair when a straight guy was raised by like a lesbian couple.
Yes.
And he like has all this wisdom and gets to be so sensitive and also still is straight. And you're like, okay, you're supposed to have a trade-off. You're not actually doing a trade-off. Like,
I know.
You get to have it all.
I need to see some straight guys raised by gay male couples.
I've actually never met one in my life.
I mean, I would say, well, lesbians have been doing it longer. And by the way, that's factual. No one correct me on that. Because I think lesbians have been parents pretty much since since ancient Greece. But gay guys started doing it in the 90s.
Yeah. And gay guys, and even so, they always have daughters.
That's actually not true. Not to flout the rules of improv, but I know multiple gay guys that have sons.
Really?
Yes, I know a gay couple who I'm very close to who have twin sons. I know for the writer Rumaan Alam who wrote Leave the World Behind. He has 2 sons, I believe.
Okay.
With his partner. I read that in a magazine profile.
Well, the fact checker has logged on to the chat.
Need I go on?
Sorry, my gigantic blanket statement wasn't true.
Are you happy now? Wait, what am I quoting? It's like Gaga or something. Or it's like, are you entertained?
Are you thinking of The Gladiator? Are you not entertained?
Kind of. Anyway, should we bring in our guest?
I think that would be so genius.
Normally I would jump at the opportunity to do the honors, but I do feel like since you're in the same room with her, potentially it is your story to tell.
Sure. Well, what introduction is there to say? She's America's newest it girl. Please welcome to the podcast, Courtney O'Donnell.
Hello. Hi. Thank you so much. I did put a gun to your head and tell you to say that.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And I appreciated it because sometimes, you need fear to inspire you.
Right. And that's how I work and how I get the best work done.
Yeah.
Courtney, you've sort of managed to carve out the space for yourself as a pro-gun comedian. Yeah.
I'm doing a lot of NRA tours this summer, a lot of college campuses where there's like a right to carry law.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm super excited. It's a market that's actually so lucrative. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. I've been to your house. It's huge.
Right. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. And just really well decorated.
Thank
you.
Yeah.
To know that comes from gun money makes sense.
Yeah. You were a little scared though.
I was. I mean, whenever I go into a house and I'm like wanded down by there's a doorman at your house.
Right.
And he wands you down.
Which is also my boyfriend, by the way.
Yeah, he's hot.
Thank you.
Yeah. So congrats on that.
He's taken.
Oh my gosh, you're bad.
Would you date your butler?
No. Wait, also, George, when you were like, I think that was Gaga, it was like truly just like a normal thing to say, but you were like, oh, it had to be Lady Gaga.
That's a Gaga quote. That's a Gaga quote.
I think it's Gaga.
Wait, I've decided, speaking of would you date your butler, I think a really funny bit to do is be at a dinner party or like a cocktail party and ask a question in the same way that you would ask, like, what would you do if your kid was a Republican? Like something that is realistic, but do that, but for a question that makes no sense. Just be like, okay, guys, go around. Would you date your butler?
What would you do if your roommate came home and was like really anxious? You have to like be there for her.
That would be hard for me.
Yeah,
that would be really hard for me.
Yeah.
Are you a supportive friend? Go.
Oh my God. Thank you for asking. Yes, I am. I think I'm too supportive though. I always try to like fix people's problems, which like, again, is that kind of like therapy speak. Like everyone's always like, oh, people pleaser, but kind of that's who I am.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up on the docket. Courtney, you're one of the most bicoastal people on earth. How do you do it?
Oh, honey, thank you. Well, fully so rich. I have a private plane.
That's nice. That helps.
No, I don't. And someone did ask, they're like, oh, like you have an apartment in both cities, which is not true. I live in LA and I go to New York a lot. And prey off the kindness of my friends, which is great. Yeah.
So you like are okay with staying with people?
I did it a lot last year, and now I'm just kind of like, okay, this is so annoying, especially like, you know, you live in LA too. You get how nice it is here. It's sort of like hard to, dare I say, slum it when I go back to New York. You know, kind of walk up 5 flights of stairs. There's no dishwasher, not even a toilet in some of my friends' apartments.
No,
so
totally.
That's hard. Yeah.
They're doing it diaper style.
Diaper style, yeah. I mean, it's great because they're in like Nolita, which is awesome.
Sure.
And like near so many good restaurants, but like the no toilet thing is annoying.
It's so annoying. I mean, the restaurants, of course, to die for.
Of course, the nightlife too.
The nightlife is amazing. The culture, you just live for it. But then you go home and you say, where do I pee?
Yeah, I just think that some people really care about that. And like in that case, you can go live in Toledo. But I don't actually, a lot of my friends don't care.
Yeah, I mean, cool. if there's like a cool scene, like a cool club scene, cool bar scene, I don't need a bathroom.
Right. And also, like, you're just not going to get that culture anywhere else.
No, God, no. George, you.
Well, it's sort of like how some people, you know, some people cook at home. You know, we New Yorkers, we go to restaurants. It's the same. So some people shit at home. It's like, honey, if I need to go to the bathroom, I'll go to the coffee shop.
Oh yeah, we're going to an Allbirds, honey, and we're saying we need to try something on. Yeah, that's another thing about LA, though. There's not a big public restroom culture.
Oh, people here treat restrooms like they're the most fucking guarded things on earth. Like, you go into a CVS and they're like, you have to buy something to use the restroom. And I'm like, why?
Yeah, it's like I could go into a restroom and I could go into someone's house in New York and pee.
In New York, there's a culture. What was that amendment where it's like soldiers are allowed to stay with you?
Room and board or something.
In New York, they still have that.
Right, totally.
But for bathrooms.
Yeah, LA's weird about it.
LA is so weird about it.
Yeah.
Even like gas stations, where it's like, this is the place, famously, you're allowed to use the bathroom at the gas station. Yeah. That's what they're for.
They're always like, it's out of order. And I'm like, I don't believe you.
Sometimes, one time, actually in New York City, I got so upset that I was like, that somebody wouldn't let me use their bathroom. And I was like, I was close to peeing on their floor. Because I was like, what would you do? Like, what happens then?
I always am like, well, I have my period. And they're like, okay. Like, that's also not that much of an emergency. Like, the worst thing that happens is like, I get my period on myself. You know, it's like not like a hazard to anyone else involved.
Yeah, but if you mention that to a man, he literally will be like, oh, do you need my shirt?
Yeah, right. He puts me on his back like a sack of potatoes.
He's calling an ambulance. He's like, she doesn't have long.
I did once. It was like, it was Halloween in New York, and my friend was like, peeing on the side of the road, which is really bad. We were like in deep Brooklyn somewhere, like not a public place.
Like Williamsburg.
Yeah, we were off of like the Bedford stop.
We were like crazy. Super deep, like scary
I was like
Brooklyn.
scared. I was scared. And she was peeing and a cop car came up and I immediately was like, she's fixing her tampon. Like, what? You're going to take her to jail for fixing her tampon? And they just like drove away. And they're like, fuck you. Like, you're so annoying.
I love that. That's so like girl in New York, you know?
Yeah.
Like being like, I'm going to fucking tell the cops. Like, fuck them.
It was very Jessa from Girls.
Yeah, totally.
Know? Which she actually does, I think, pee in the street.
Oh.
Yes.
Episode. Yeah.
Huh.
I think each of them pees on the street.
Right, yeah.
I think that's how they inaugurate every new season.
Yes, exactly, yeah. I love that. I love when shows have kind of like repetitive montages and motifs.
Totally.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think
I'm huge on motifs.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. And I feel like there's no one talking about that anymore.
No one talks about motifs anymore. No one brings wine anymore. No one talks about motifs.
Oh my God, it's just gross. It's gross.
Disgusting.
I want to
Okay, fuck, marry, kill, motifs, themes. Casting.
Wait, you guys, I actually do need to ask, like, what is a motif? Like, tell me what you think a motif is, and then I'll tell you what I think.
Just ask someone what a motif is. Yeah. That is so insensitive.
It's like a recurring thing. Like, you can be like, you know, in our podcast, Lady Gaga is a motif.
Yes, right. Or like the butterfly in this movie represents freedom.
Yeah, and themes are more broad. A theme is like is
the
love
theme
blind?
Of our podcast is sexuality.
The theme of our podcast is heterosexuality.
The last one was casting?
Well, I was trying to think. I really hit the ground running with my question, but then couldn't think of a third thing that's equal to motif and theme.
Symbolism.
Yeah. Motif, theme, symbol. Those are the three.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I would have to marry theme. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, there's a lot there. There's some more heft to it. Mm-hmm. I think I would kill motif and I would fuck symbolism. Because motif, it's like, So you're just repeating stuff throughout the piece?
Yeah, it's a little bit, you know what, to me, a motif is, have we seen Challengers here?
Yes.
Okay. The racket, the ball on the racket. When
Totally.
he's like, I'm going to have sex with your wife. To me, that's a motif. So it's like, that's important to me.
I don't know if that's a motif.
I tried so hard.
I would say a motif is like
That's not a motif.
I would say a motif in Challengers is like, oh God, maybe a motif in Challengers is like conversations as matches. Like everything is a match. Like that.
Totally.
That is a motif that keeps coming up.
What is it? That could also be symbolism.
Like oh God.
I think symbolism is like.
What about the T-shirt? The T-shirt. The I told you T-shirt.
Oh, the T-shirt.
That is, I guess you're thinking very concrete. You know, I think the T-shirt is closer to a motif for sure.
Right. By the way, I'm recording this on my own for Spark Notes, so we do need like a Challengers.
I actually do think I'm going to go ahead and say the I told you T-shirt is a motif.
Thank you. Or
I would fuck motif, kill symbolism.
Really?
I'm sort of like anything can be a symbol. I'm not impressed.
That's what's
A
hot
motif,
about it.
I think a motif, what's nice about it is that it recurs a few times. So it's sort of like having, that like a hot guy that you see at a bar every time you go there.
Sure, it's like a gym crush.
Exactly. A motif is like a gym crush.
Yeah.
A motif is like a gym crush. A theme is like, it's like your forever guy. And then a symbol is just like some random hot guy that you saw on the street.
A symbol is like a guy that looks kind of like a celebrity, and you get to be like, wow, if I had sex with him, it'd almost be like having sex with that celebrity.
Yeah. It's like a guy that you see on Hinge. Like every time you download, it's like he says new here, and it's like, you're not new here.
You've been here for 4 years.
Yeah, you just keep making new profiles. So,
yeah. One time I hooked up with a guy that looked like Michael Stuhlbarg, and I just kept saying I hooked up with Michael Stuhlbarg.
Oh, that's huge for you.
Hooked up with any?
It was actually gigantic for me. It was a big moment.
Did I tell you that
your claim to fame?
I went to a play with Michael Stuhlbarg recently and walked out at intermission?
Whoa.
Can you believe
Because
that?
of what he did to your friend?
Yeah, I was like, I can't see him the same way because I know he fucked my friend Sam.
Wow. So do you usually walk out of plays?
No, I've never done it. I think maybe I've done it one more time in my life, but I hate to say it. It was about Putin, and I want to be clear. I didn't walk out because I am some stupid idiot gay guy who doesn't care about global affairs and history.
Was never going to say that.
I was going to say that with global affairs and history. I live, eat, and breathe global affairs and history. But you got to keep it interesting.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So you walked out strictly due to boringness.
Yeah.
Wow. Now that hurts.
Is that crazy?
That is
What would
crazy.
make you walk out? Disagreeing
I guess
with it
if it's
politically?
so boring, I guess I would have.
You're like, I didn't know this was anti-Putin. I'm out.
Yeah, what the heck? He was a good guy.
He worked really hard to get where he is.
Right. Let's be a little more nuanced.
Yeah.
I walked out of the Jackie movie. Do you remember that with
Natalie Portman?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm actually glad you brought up that movie. That is a movie that people have been telling me to watch since it came out. And I do feel like there's a mass delusion happening. And I'm like, I know, I'm smart enough to know this would not actually be good.
No, it wasn't. It was like, I was so incredibly bored, and her life is so interesting. And I thought Natalie Portman was a good cast for it. But yeah.
I mean, anytime this is very ungay guy of me, whenever there is like a slow reflective movie about some woman in the past, I'm like, yeah, I know I should want to see this, but I'm just never going to.
Yeah, like
Sure.
Spencer was actually good. The Princess Diana, Kristen Stewart. But
That's
it's
like-
Well, same director,
well, there we go. Honey, something was in the water when he shot that one, because it was better. But yeah, I like that genre.
Okay. I do too.
Of course, supporting women and let's hear their stories. But yeah, there is something kind of like they're kind of wanting to like make it dark and intense.
Yeah, why can't it be about Princess Diana going shopping and having fun?
Right, because that was like kind of her thing, and Jackie was just more of like a girl's girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Emily in Paris, kind of.
Yes.
She was a girl's girl.
Jackie was a girl's girl, but she always managed to find a boyfriend.
Yep, one of those girls, never single for longer than 3 minutes.
Jackie. Should we do our first segment?
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh my God.
Okay, Courtney, our first segment is called Straight Shooters. And in this segment, we're going to ask you a series of rapid fire questions to gauge your familiarity with and complicity in straight culture. It's basically this thing or this other thing. And the only rule is you can't ask any follow-up questions or we will scream at you so intensely and violently that they will one day make a patient film about your time on this podcast.
Like Jackie or
Like Jackie or even Spencer.
I would watch a film by a film from that director starring Courtney.
I'm playing Margaret Thatcher.
You're playing Margaret Thatcher, but you're doing like broad comedy Zooey Deschanel. You're doing Margaret Thatcher, but via Zooey Deschanel.
Yo, I'm like,
and
y'all,
everything is like, every single scene is like, that was awkward.
Okay then, moving on.
Okay. Courtney, are you prepared?
Yes, I'm prepared.
Okay. Paying the price or selling the sunset?
Selling the sunset. Definitely.
Kendrick and Drake have beef or baking a cake while listening to Big Thief?
Kendrick and Drake have beef.
So true. Okay. A neti pot or a Getty shot?
Getty shot.
Period.
Subscribing to The New Yorker or diatribing like you're Aaron Sorkin?
Diatribing like you're Aaron Sorkin.
Okay. Tagliatelle or Miss Tori Spelling?
Tagliatelle. So fun.
So fun.
Best shape.
Questioning authority or welcoming the new girl into your sorority?
Welcoming the new girl into your sorority. Yeah.
Love that. Okay. Dressing on the side or living life with pride?
Living life with pride.
Wow.
Wow.
Being attracted to Mr. Clean or getting redacted by Mr. Bean?
Being attracted to Mr. Clean for sure.
Wow.
Wow. You know, I have to say something.
Wait, I'm shocked that you didn't choose getting redacted by Mr. Bean.
See, I like to keep you on your toes.
No, he's got...
You know he has a giant ass cock.
Oh, honey, I've seen it. Let me tell you.
You know when Mr. Bean comes, you're like, damn, this guy really felt it.
Wait, I thought we were talking about Mr.
Rowan
Clean's
Atkinson. I need to see Rowan Atkinson do coming as Mr. Bean.
No, the way that's literally gooning, and I need it.
Wait, that's, yeah. Okay,
They
that's
should
my
make an
SNL
R-rated
character.
Mr. Bean. They should make an R-rated Mr. Bean movie. You know, Rowan Atkinson is one of the sort of top like anti-cancel culture people now.
Oh, really? That's too bad.
Yeah. He loves talking about how you can't say anything anymore, which is of course amazing because
That's so iconic.
His most famous roles are Mr. Bean and like the guy in Love Actually, like the most tame possible roles a person can have.
Doesn't Mr. Bean like not really talk either?
Yeah, he's
he
like, you
doesn't
can't
talk.
say anything anymore, and I never have.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
Back then, I couldn't say anything, and now I can't either. Yeah.
Maybe the entirety of Mr. Bean is a commentary on cancel culture and how men are being silenced.
Definitely. I in the last year watched Mr. Bean's Big Vacation or something.
Sure, yeah.
So good, actually. Really
Yeah,
funny.
he's unfortunately one of the great talents.
I was blown away. I was like, I could watch this man fumble a receipt with a waiter for hours on end.
What was his like, was that a character he was just like doing at like Pine Box Rock Shop? Like, how did he get
The thing is,
to
I
here?
literally think yes. I think
Just like so funny. It's like,
That
when
was
did you
enough
start
back
becoming
then.
that?
Yeah, it was enough to be like, so this character basically he doesn't speak.
Yeah.
well, that's sort of we have to draw the parallel between Pee-wee, of course, and Pee-wee was also like a Groundlings character, and then it was like, okay, and now he's on TV, and now he's like a figure, like an American character. Like
Now he has like a ride at Universal Studios. It's like
sort of
really crazy.
Something I really am very confused by is how Amelia Bedelia does not have an incredible, hilarious live action film.
well, simply because no person has the guts to embody her fully.
But where is Kristen Wiig? Where's there are so many, like any of the funny ladies of Saturday Night Live.
You can only
Could
name
jump
one
into that
though, which
role.
is funny.
That is funny, and hasn't even been on there in 10 years.
Wait, Mike Myers in a wig. Wait, sorry. Wait, you guys. Chris Rock in a wig.
You know what I think the problem with Amelia Bedelia is, to be honest?
What?
It's just such a written, it's the words that are funny. It's not in the performance. She's a writer's character.
right. Writer's
You
comment.
think so?
I really do.
But she does so much stuff that is funny.
Sure, but it's not. It's like funny because she misunderstands words. It's all in the writing.
Wait, what about Junie B. Jones?
Well, she's a huge bitch.
Oh, okay. Well, she's my favorite character growing up, so I got a lot of inspiration from her.
Don't you think Junie B. Jones is sort of like an origin story for a girl who now is fully QAnon?
Whoa.
I think she has full ADHD and just got
yeah.
bad grades, but now is a creative. That's what I think.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah,
okay.
that's what I think.
I guess those are like the two paths that she could take. Because for me, I'm like, there's evil lurking in there. Like Junie B. Jones wants to hurt people. And then she grows up and is like doing an MLM and is really good at it, actually.
Okay, so she's more like, psychological abuse too.
Yeah.
Maybe the girl's in her like legging startup or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's very legging startup. Although I guess maybe if she had some good role models later on, if she had some good professors in college, she could have become more of like a improv girl creative.
Right. Okay, I think I'm aligned with that. Yeah. I'm writing this down, actually. I'm writing some pilots.
Yeah, it's so important to take familiar IP and turn it into something so now and so current.
I want Junie B. Jones, but she's like into like doming.
Yeah, she like is a sex worker.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah. But she like loves
Well, that is literally. I mean, since Barbie, I think the new thing is going to be like children's properties, but for adults. And so Junie B. Jones as a sex worker actually is not far off.
I think it's a great idea. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it'll be like Amelia Bedelia, but she's organizing the other maids in a union.
Right.
Oh, wow. That would be really important.
Wow.
But then she like doesn't understand any of the terms for unionizing. So she's like something about like signing the union cards, but then she like misunderstands the word cards. Or they're like boycotting, but she like does something with a boy in a cot.
Yeah. Okay, there's like 10 episodes right there.
Wait, I'm actually leaving this Zoom. I have to write this.
You have a meeting with Paramount?
Yeah.
Yeah. Should we get into the topic?
Yeah.
Courtney, you brought an incredible topic today. Please tell us what it is and also a little bit about what makes it straight to you.
Okay, so I had a lot of thought in this idea. I want to share one that I didn't bring.
Oh, please.
Which is Lime scooters.
Well,
don't get Sam started.
Well,
I'm obsessed with them. I've gone on record many times saying they saved my life.
like riding them or someone coming by and saving you?
No, riding them. I was so miserable in Los Angeles, California until that big day when I couldn't take it anymore and I hopped on a Lime scooter. And then I said, this is freedom. And now I see my whole future ahead of me and there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Do you drive?
Well, now I do, but as of like a month ago.
Okay, so this was a mode of transportation.
Yeah, I was literally stranded every time I would leave my house.
Yeah.
And then Lime Scooter saved me, and now I drive a car. Things are a little bit different.
Yeah, I like a little more freedom.
I haven't really hopped on a scooter since the car, but I do miss it, and I do owe it my life.
Wow.
But sorry, keep going.
Okay, well, I'll just say one thing about how straight they are is like they're always just thrown in like the middle of the sidewalk, and I think that's
It's literally like straight guy's bedroom. It's like you walk.
Yeah.
It's basically like a startup that makes any street into a straight guy's bedroom.
That's so true. You know what I'm surprised they don't have is like, on like big balls hanging on a truck. Like they need
truck
that
nuts?
for a Lime. Yeah, truck nuts for a Lime scooter.
Oh, they should definitely
Yeah,
do that.
we need that.
Okay, we're starting a company.
Wait, also I'm like, I want to bring back truck nuts.
I thought I was trying to do this joke once where I'm like, my boyfriend drives a Mini Cooper with truck nuts, but no one got it. And I was just like, that's the funniest
really
thing I've
funny.
ever said.
That is so funny. This is when audiences don't get things like that. That's when I become anti-cancel culture. Like,
Right.
You know what I mean?
There's also nothing worse than being on stage and being like, that was funny. Like, by the way, that was funny.
I love having an idea and being like, this is really going to work. And
Yeah.
then going out and being like, oh, yep, that's just sort of a
I know
thought.
you care so much about it. And you're like, this is the next big thing.
Yeah.
And nothing.
Huh. I also think the way that Lime scooters, even just like being on the sidewalk and being like, it's really like not, it's sort of, to take a former thing, it's sort of a man spreading situation.
Yes,
really not
very.
afraid to take up some space.
Right.
And be a little dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're also filling a need. It's very straight to see a need, which is that LA doesn't have good public transportation, and be like, oh, perfect. Let's do a startup.
Yeah. I mean, it's
not-
like
no one's-
partnering with Uber. It's a lot.
Yeah, no one is like, lobbying the government. No one is thinking of a more communal, way to. No, they're just like, let's basically litter and give people little scooters.
Yeah.
I when I was in New York, I felt like, if only everyone could just bike everywhere, this would be so amazing.
Right.
And now in LA, I'm like, God, if we could just get rid of those cars and everyone was lime scootering.
I know, but it's like, imagine lime scootering like on the 101.
On the
Literally, that's
freeway?
my fantasy. I would be so happy.
How fast do they go?
That's a great. I have no idea.
Did you wear a helmet?
Sam
Oh
did like
my
pimp my
God.
ride on his lime scooters, and they look like Too Fast, Too Furious.
He's playing like Charlie X's.
I mean, I would put in headphones and just ride down the street as fast as I could.
Wow.
It was so fun. And-
Wait, I
yeah.
feel bad that I took up so much time about lime scooters.
No, don't ever
Okay.
apologize.
Okay, because it seems like you really care about them. No, that's great. That's great. You're using public transportation.
Yeah, it's actually really helpful.
Yeah.
But now I'm normal and drive.
Okay, great.
So wait, what's your real topic
Okay.
instead of your fake topic?
Okay, so my topic is subscription clothing rental companies. So what we're talking about here is we're talking about the Rent the Runway. We're talking about Newly, and what I think is really straight about them. And I want everyone to be clear that's listening or tuning in that I am a customer. I am like kind of the main customer. Actually, I'm wearing something that's rented. Right now. Yeah, they did not sponsor me. But what I think is very straight about it is like this idea of like renting like funky, cool outfits,
Yeah.
but not like purchasing them, like being too scared to be like, oh, I'm really out there. Like I'm going to get this like, metallic silver coat, but it's like, I'll just wear it for a month. And I think that's very like bi girl, straight to kind of just try something on, but not really like commit to it.
I love you being like, so it's really straight because it's very like bi girl.
Which is the straightest thing you can be now, right?
Well, I mean,
We
you have
are
to tell
not.
us.
Yeah.
And go on your rant. By the way, you can go on the bi girl rant now if you want.
So this is a really fascinating world to delve into because on the one hand, of course, the inability to commit, I think, is a big part of what you're talking about, is very straight. It's like you can't just decide what your wardrobe is. Like, commit to something. You have one life. Decide, are you more, classic silhouette or are you more TikTok big pants? Just decide.
Too. No, right. Yeah. And it's like, I think like, for me, it's like, I just get to be like crazy, but then like the rest of my closet is sort of just the basics,
Yeah.
So
It is. There's something about like gamifying a wardrobe
Yes.
that it does, where it's like, most people do have to commit, and then they have to be like, is this worth the closet space? Is this worth? And you get to instead be like, no, my life is a startup, and
Yes.
I have my like, these are my weirds and these are my normals.
right. And it's like, oh, this like quirky like, okay, I think that a lot of gay culture is like thrifting and really like taking time and finding things that really matter to you. And I think straight culture is just like, I'll wear this jacket, like fuck it up and just send it back in FedEx, which I've never done, by the way.
Of course not.
No.
I think there's also something where it's like so unsentimental, is
Yeah.
like you aren't like making a little story about your jacket and being like, wow, like you're like, when I open my closet, I see my jacket and I say, God, when I bought this jacket, I was so different than I am now.
Yeah.
And yet it is mine, and it like, and now I'm going to put new meaning into it.
Right.
And this is instead just like, I like the shape.
Yeah. Ooh, cool. That'll look like good in like a photo.
That's like weird.
Yeah. Oh my God. Am I like looking weird, guys? That's me whenever I try on my Newly.
This is crazy,
this
isn't it?
this is sort of something that I think we have come back to a few times, which is it more consumerist to do the straight thing of like ascribing no value, no meaning or sentimental value to anything and just following trends blindly? Or is it in fact more consumerist to like instill value in commodities and be like, this shirt is literally my personality? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think
You're sort of in a double bind. There's no winning.
Yeah.
the second one is gayer. like I think like making a narrative around a piece of clothing is gayer.
Well, Sam opening his closet and going, "These are my stories," is kind of the gayest thing I've ever heard.
Yes, no, for sure.
But there's beauty in that, and there's no beauty in just kind of never having anything to cling to.
I mean, I even like when I am talking about telling yourself stories in order to live.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm like going through something, I'm like, I need to have a piece of clothing so that I will remember
This time
in my life from this piece of clothing. I'll never forget the Buffalo Exchange when I got my like horse printed jacket, you know?
Yeah.
No, it's
does
really
this
true.
shirt have a story? I know no one can see it. But.
This shirt tells the story of I had a shirt that was similar that was my boyfriend's dad's shirt that I loved, but it was ripping. And I said I need something to replace it, and I got this one, and it you know, and I actually did get it cropped.
Wow.
It's a tasteful crop.
Yeah, I mean, for everyone that can't see, it's your nipples are out, which I think is
it's a
weird.
tasteful crop. It goes up above my nipples.
Yeah.
The whole chest is revealed.
Right.
And yeah, so
It
that's
says
sort of
anti-cancel culture in spray paint.
yeah, it says "Let me speak." So that's the story that this shirt tells. George, does your outfit tell a story today?
It is so like the idea that you would, knowing I'm wearing a plain black t-shirt, that you
We
would
don't know.
try.
I don't know. I don't know what plain black t-shirt means to you.
The fact that you would put me on the spot and be like, okay, great, create something funny out of plain black t-shirt, you bitch. We're already zooming you from, we're together in one room. You're alone in your office in New York. Now say something funny about black t-shirt.
We don't know. It could have like a bar from like North Carolina, like on the back. Like
We literally don't know.
Yeah,
You're
like-
always at that bar in North Carolina.
It's like where you lost your virginity.
Yeah, you fucked in the bathroom of the bar in North Carolina. You were so taken because you were like, oh God, in New York, we don't even have bathrooms.
Well, I'll say this. So this shirt that I'm wearing is a very plain t-shirt. Google plain t-shirt, hit order. Okay. But I actually think that's part of this conversation because it's like, I think the gay thing, I think you have to have basics that mean nothing, and then real pieces that each, you know, represent how you feel about your grandmother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas the straight fashion, the Rent the Runway girl, all of them are, it's sort of like a middle of the road. Everything is just like kind of meaningful because she saw it in Vogue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or it's like the way the website works. There's a lot of like different like for like wedding guest or even like there was an Eras tour like section.
Oh God.
So it's very straight on there.
Yeah, that's tough. That hurts a little bit.
But something that I can't get behind is these sites are now allowing you to rent phone cases. Which is just absolutely wild to me.
Why?
I have no idea. Like and all the like, because I was so interested in it, all the reviews are like, I didn't really need to rent this, but I did, and it was super fun, just kind of like show my personality through this case. And it's like just has like it's just like, you know, monochromatic.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
That's bizarre.
Yeah.
You know what I would like to rent the Runway?
What?
Sunglasses.
They do have that.
Uh-oh.
Wait, really?
I've never-
Sunglasses to me are such a statement thing that it's like, it's so fun when it's summer and you can finally wear your sunglasses and that's your personality.
George, you're sounding so New York.
Oh my God. Seriously, we're wearing them all the time
We're
out
literally
here.
wearing them all the time. We're never not wearing them.
And then what? But okay, fine. So let's say you're wearing them all the time.
Oh my God, George, you're so New York.
Why would you want different ones? It's so specific to find ones that fit well on your face.
Because I think like, okay, I have a lot to say. I stand on the table. But basically it's like sunglasses, like you have your, you know, your like crew or your Ray-Bans, whatever, that you're like classics. But then it's like you want a fun pair, but you don't want to spend $400 on it.
Exactly.
Right. So that there is there's some thriftiness going on here.
Yes.
You know, you can rent bags as well. Purses.
Well, I do think bags make sense.
Yeah.
Because bags are just so expensive.
But sunglasses, because they're such a statement thing, like they are just like, well, sometimes I want to be that guy. Like I want to be a different person every once in a while. And like I don't want to, there's no glamorous, okay, George, you're going to fight me on this maybe. There's no glamorous way to buy sunglasses. It always feels like a scam. George is screaming.
What are you talking about?
Anywhere you go to buy sunglasses, you're like, this is a scam.
What do you mean? I want to be
Sam.
on your side, but
I am being so persecuted. I'm like literally Mr. Bean right now. Like you can't say anything. It's fucking crazy.
Well, you're top. It says anti-candle filter.
Well, there's this. I think what I'm running into is this idea. Like to me, sunglasses are. If anything, it's like one of the simplest possible things. It actually like brings. If it's time to buy a new pair of sunglasses, it like brings me joy because you sort of can't go wrong. They have to. Even if they're cheap, they look fine. Like it just doesn't cause me stress in a way that basically buying anything else does.
I find a lot of stress in it. Like,
I find so much stress in it.
okay, you know what I hate is like those really cute, like they're like mini kind of like very thin sunglasses. I can see the rims and it really bothers me.
I mean, and most sunglasses, I'm sort of like, why did you make this? This doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like there are very few sunglasses. We need to disrupt the sunglass industry for good. Something is going wrong there. We need a startup because, first of all, none of them block out the sun like I need.
Yeah.
I mean, I live in sunny Los Angeles, California. Sunny is part of the word.
Driving, you need them.
I need them. And I'm always blinded by the sun anyway.
Yeah.
95% of them look stupid.
Yeah, I agree. But maybe George just has like that face that you can kind of wear anything.
I'm really trying to yes and this conversation, but I'm like literally like go to Warby Parker, get whatever they have, you'll look fine. There's it like or go to Ray-Ban, get a pair of Ray-Bans. Like it just is so like. So I sort of think everyone always looks good in sunglasses because you look inherently more glamorous because you sort of look like, Julia Roberts on an outdoor red carpet in the 90s, or you look like Joe Biden, one of the most glamorous women alive, wearing his Ray-Ban aviators. Like, I think I have so much more trouble. Like, talk about like going out and trying to buy a vintage pair of Levi's. I would rather legitimately jump off of a bridge.
Right.
But sunglasses to me are like, oh, what a treat. It's like buying a delicious, soft serve ice cream.
It's the same, right?
I couldn't disagree more. Maybe you just have a perfect head and I have a perfect legs and ass. I feel that.
Perfect man.
If only we could combine my perfect head with your perfect legs and ass, then we'd create the perfect man.
No torso. I don't even want that.
Nobody wants a torso anymore.
No torso, just perfect head, perfect legs and ass. Goes straight from chin to ass.
These are my LA sunglasses. Ready?
Sam, can I ask you, where are they from?
A scam store.
What do you mean?
Called what?
Just some like sunglasses place.
But what is it? I want to know. Because sometimes I feel like you will like not look for something and then be like, it doesn't exist.
Okay.
It's actually crazy to see you in these with the podcast groups.
Are we gagging?
Yeah.
Okay, so where so like we're talking like a sunglass hut or like a
So I think it was called Big City Optical.
Okay.
I know that off the top of my head.
Yeah.
See, this is what I mean. I'm embarrassed.
But were they like the $20 ones or like $100? Because they make those on the street, which I think is fair.
You are being so rude. They were expensive.
Yeah, like how expensive would you say? What
I can't say on the podcast. That would be disgusting.
So they were. This was like a big purchase.
They were real. They were real.
Honey, they're real sunglasses. I mean, they look great on you. I'm just asking. You won't give the name, so we're kind of forced to,
Yeah, you sort of now just put on your sunglasses and are refusing to answer any questions.
They're Marnie.
They're Marnie? No, you're lying.
They are.
Oh my God, Sam, fashionista, go off.
Oh my, he's so shy. They're cute.
God.
They're really cute. And I honestly am like, maybe we can go sunglass shopping together.
We should.
Yeah.
Well, it was because I was moving to LA and I knew I needed
Oh my God, I cannot believe you're just walking around in Marnie sunglasses. Well, okay, I will say Marnie is generally an overpriced brand.
Well, these are on sale.
Yeah. Honey.
But I just
were
feel
on
like
sale,
maybe that
sweetheart.
has to do with the... Okay, so are you pro or against them? What do you want me to say?
We need to know your stand. By the way, I have all my guns out right now.
Now you're defending them?
Wait, but you said that you didn't go every time you... wait, George, he said that Marnie, it was a scam store, but he has Marnie sunglasses.
Yeah, you have discounted Marnie sunglasses from a normal optical store that look good on you and that you paid a normal amount for. Like, literally, what is the problem here?
It didn't feel glamorous when I was in the store. It felt like a scam. Like the guy was sort of like... It felt scammy, you know what I mean? And it was like, it was real. It was a store. They're like nice. They look nice, but it's like, but I didn't feel the pomp of buying something.
Okay, so then I think maybe the issue is I'm seeing where you're coming from. I think the issue is the optical store is in this like uncanny valley between hospital and store.
Yes.
And so I do think that's where the scamminess is coming from, because you go there and you're like, why are you in a lab coat?
Yeah. It was weird.
Because they want to get your prescription. Like they're like, we have designer brands, but we're here just to make sure like your prescription is okay.
Yeah.
I was in the market for new glasses, and I recently went to a store, and like you couldn't try them on yourself. So you had to have this like ongoing conversation with someone, tell them what you wanted, and then they would be like, let me think, and then whip out something. And you're like, okay, I get that you're an expert, but it's also like, I know what I should be able to browse.
Well, that's why like a Sunglass Hut hits, because you go in and you just take them off and you throw them on and you're with your friend and you're like, are these cute? And they don't really bother you.
Yeah.
I like that. I want my own. I don't like when you have to be with the person in the store the whole time.
No, I think we should not be supervised while trying on sunglasses.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm sorry I took this in such a sunglasses direction. I want to apologize.
I am now understanding.
No, yeah.
I think I had to like think in my head what you were like. I think you are talking about the optical store experience.
Yeah.
Rather than like sunglasses as an object, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes when you go in those two, it's like Ray-Ban authorized seller, and you're like, because you're saying you're an authorized seller, I feel like you're not. You know,
yes,
like why do you have to like push that in? Like, I didn't think you weren't an authorized seller.
Yeah,
that's a good point. No, there is something that feels scammy about it. Also feels all DIY. Like you're like. Which I actually find almost charming. Like it seems like all of them are mom and pop shops.
Yeah, yes. What is that? I'm like, we need to regulate the sunglass industry. I should be able to go into a chain restaurant of sunglasses. I mean, I guess Sunglass Hut.
Well, again, you can.
I'm being so attacked.
Where literally everything just comes back to the idea of like, we need to make this an app. We need to be able to rent this.
I think that actually might be what I find at times charming about glass shopping is that mom and pop feel, which I think is actually sort of lost in so many other parts of the retail experience.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, I actually do think there's something about optical stores that they're the last remaining mom and pop stores.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because you don't really have that with like shoe stores anymore.
No.
Don't have it with shoe stores. I would say I feel that way a little bit with certain like boba places.
Wow.
Like more so than coffee shops.
Yeah.
Like there's a little more variety.
Sure. No, that makes sense. To go back to renting the runway, George, you're a fashion girl. Have you ever done it or considered it?
I've never done it. I don't know what is stopping me. I certainly thrift and vintage shop a lot, and I'm always looking for that next deal.
Well, I know you love a deal more than anything.
I love a deal more than anything. But I do actually think something about renting makes me feel like I'm throwing money away. Like it's this, I need something to feel like an investment. And I also am so particular about how things fit that I just know that everything would look just a little bit off, and then I would just constantly be in a bad mood.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how are you finding that, Courtney, with renting the run? Like,
oh, thanks for asking.
Yeah.
I will say that I do it a lot for like show reasons. Like I don't need to have like 16 crazy jackets, you know, but it's like, oh, when I'm on stage, it's fun. But yeah, you kind of are in my head. I'm like, oh, I'm saving money because if I would buy like 100 things a month, which I wouldn't, but almost half of the things you get sent do not look good on you. I will say that, and you can't return. Well, with Muley, and so you kind of are just like, yeah, it's like one size too big, and it doesn't look the best on me. But for some reason, it's like a toxic relationship. I just keep coming back. You know, I can't stay away.
Totally.
Because it offers you this idea of like, I could just have like the most fun outfits for this month, you know? Like when I'm going out with the girls, like I'm going to have this like really fun, like Rachel Antonoff sweater, but then it gets there and it kind of looks like shit.
Yeah, that's tough.
No?
I feel this way, honestly, this goes back to sort of, I feel this way about most clothes that I'm excited about. Like, I actually am so much happier when I find something shitty that then looks good on me than when I see something that should look really good and looks like medium on me.
Yeah. Like you're saying, like in a thrift way or just...
In a thrift way or even a normal clothing way. Like, I do think I'm maybe more drawn to thrifting because I'm like, oh, look, this should look like horrible and I actually look good in it.
Yeah.
And then, but if I, like the one time, I've literally bought like one nice shirt in my life and I was so excited about it. And every time I wear it, I look horrible.
Yeah. I think that's because you're like the pressure on it to look good is so astronomical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel.
So you wouldn't rent?
So I wouldn't rent.
Wow.
I do think it's different for men and women. I'll say it.
Honey, we got to talk about it, men and women.
Well, also you guys you can like, I feel like you just look inherently better and like you get like one
Thank
really
you.
nice,
Thank you.
one tailored shirt and it's like sex pot. You know?
That is the other, I think with tailoring too, like I would love it if I could rent a suit for an event, but like if something isn't tailored on a man, it just will not look good.
Yeah, right. Yeah, my dear friend Zach Schiffman gets his shirts tailored a lot, and they always look so great on him. But you know that's a lot of work that goes into it, and you can't rent if that's the case.
I mean, Lord knows I know. Look, I cropped my damn shirt.
Oh, yeah, my dear friend Sam actually too. I forgot about you. Sorry.
No, don't ever apologize. I'm like, okay, how are we feeling?
I'm like, okay.
So pretty much that's the podcast.
And if you guys want to sponsor us, like any sort of like clothing rental subscriptions, maybe for fun.
I'm like, okay, looks at phone.
So pretty much that's the podcast.
It really is TGIF vibes. You're being a little joker.
I'm needing a little Joker energy. I'm feeling
It is so funny to me that after your diatribe about sunglasses, you're like, whatever, I guess these are the ones I got, and they are designer sunglasses that look amazing on you.
I had to pry them out of his hands. Like he would not say what brand they were.
This.
I mean, it's so embarrassing to talk about. This goes back to the gift thing.
Yeah.
You can't to be like they're Marnie. Like then you're that changes everything.
I think you were really sweet about it. Like, I think it was really endearing. I feel endeared. But it's okay to be proud of Marnie.
Yeah. You earned those Marnie sunglasses.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow. It is so TGIF. I'm sorry I looked at my phone. It was just to check the time because I was like, wow, like it could be 7 p.m. for all I know.
Oh my God, yeah.
Because I'm just so lost in convo.
We're just having fun.
We're just like, podcast, nobody just hangs out anymore.
I know. I want a podcast where we're just hanging out.
Like, just like friends, like catching up.
Yeah, will you come with me to get sunglasses? There's actually a store that I want to go to.
Oh, really?
EWE on Helvis.
You?
Like EU? I don't know. It looks really fancy.
I think the biggest flex you can do as a store owner is name your store something like that because you're like, it's basically like naming it like fuck off.
Yeah. Don't even come here.
Yeah.
Ew.
EWE.
Ew.
Oh.
Ew.
It's pronounced
Or like yuck. That's kind of cute.
Yuck is fun.
Yeah. What do you wish you could rent that you can't?
A boyfriend.
Oh my God, you're bad.
Oh, honey, let me tell you.
You're being so bad.
Well, okay, the one thing we didn't touch on is, not to be completely obvious, but is the sort of sustainability element of all of this.
Well, I almost don't want to touch on it because I feel like it ruins the whole argument. I'm like, is it better to rent for the world?
Well, that's the thing. Obviously, the best thing you can do is buy a single article of clothing every year that costs $5,000 and lasts a lifetime. Like that is the goal. Everyone has, let me tell you something. You go to Berlin, everyone has exactly 5 articles of clothing. They are all black and they somehow manage to, they can somehow be combined in an infinite number of ways so that you look a little different each day. So that is the goal. I think, of course, after that is like thrifting because at least you're being a little sustainable. And then I think with the Rent the Runway, it's like, it's sort of either that or Shein.
I agree. And I think like, unfortunately, we are in a society where like hyper-consumerism is such a thing that it kind of like, I get my itch scratched for like shopping all the time through renting, because Yeah, because I do feel like the other option is just like ordering like from Temu every day, So
it's sort of not going. It's not like getting to the root of the problem. You're not like, I'm going to do the work to not be consumerist, but you're like, what's a sort of slightly more painless way to remain consumerist?
Right. Yes. And again, don't you guys feel the pressure to like, you've got to have new things to wear for all the events we're going to? Seriously,
that is so true. I mean, the way that we can't get into this, but the way that I'm never ready for an event, I just don't have anything for events.
Are you always like last minute shopping?
I always just like, what I do is I have a freak out a half hour before the event and go, I have nothing to fucking wear. Yeah. I guess I'll look like trash. I think the nightmare that is continuing to come true, and I can't do anything to change my path or my story, is that whenever I'm at anywhere, I am serving, he's a writer. Like, you look like you're like not hot enough. You're not like chic enough. And I'm like, I'll think in the moment like, I look good. And then you look at a photo and you're like, I'm such a fucking writer. I look embarrassing.
You did not. Hey, I want to say you did not look like a writer when you walked in today. You looked glowing, and you still do. You're a podcaster.
Oh,
hey,
God.
Sam, would a writer have Marnie sunglasses?
Period.
Yeah.
It's hard with the headphones.
Here's what I have to say to the clothing industry. Let's figure out. Someone send me a blazer that fits me perfectly and that I can put on top of anything else I'm wearing. I can wear with jeans and I can wear with dress pants. I can wear with a t-shirt. I can wear with a button down. I can even wear with a polo, because I actually think I specifically would look amazing wearing a black Lacoste polo and a blazer over it.
I agree.
Yeah.
So my challenge for all the fashion designers out there, Christian Siriano, Tim Gunn, anyone else listening, is make a blazer that fits my specific body type, because I have yet to see one.
Wow.
I could see you in a really nice like khaki linen blazer.
Ooh, I do actually. I have a sort of beige linen suit that I wore to a summer wedding once, and it looks okay.
I'm trying to think of a call to action to designers.
Sunglass
also,
designers.
like, I mean, I guess just to all the sunglass designers out there, Christian Siriano, if you're listening and you want to get into the sunglasses business, I would say you're going to have a lot of ideas. Most of them are bad.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's okay. Less is more. If you only have 2 sunglasses this year, that's okay.
We'd rather have the best ideas.
2 of the best sunglasses. Leave the 20 other bad ones in your mind. Don't even draw them. Yeah. Just leave them in your head.
You know what they need to bring back? Those Kanye sunglasses.
The shutter shades.
I mean, we are like months away from those coming back.
Yeah.
Like it is. I'm almost shocked they haven't already.
I'm shocked that wasn't on like Gracie Abrams at the Met Gala.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean,
at some point the Met Gala theme will literally be, or like American. What is it called? American Apparel.
Apparel. America.
Yeah. I kept wanting to say American Outfitters, and I was like, that's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Urban. I used to think that the shampoo Herbal Essences was Urban Essences.
Just for those city girls.
Yeah, just for the city girls.
I love the old packaging that they had.
What was it?
Do you remember those ads where the women would orgasm while shampooing their hair?
Of course. Yeah. Iconic.
I mean, that is like, that was our Mad Men, is the ad guys that created that. Whatever.
This is a really loose episode.
I know.
In a way that I celebrate. I love to make a point and then go, whatever.
Not every just
I need
like
to
the
stop doing that. I think I do that a lot, where I undermine my own point before anyone has a chance to respond.
I think it's good.
Wait, I want to do it. Was that good?
Yeah, say something before it to really sell it.
Something about like sexuality that I don't understand.
Well, okay, here's the thing about LA, it like culture. It's like the cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing to say anymore.
There's nothing to say anymore. It's all been said.
Yep.
Yeah. Normalize shutting the fuck up.
So what do you guys think about AI?
I love it, honey. It's actually
We
really...
should have little Michaela on the podcast as a guest.
Oh my God. That's such a good idea.
Is she still around? Like, I remember when that was so cool. It's like, there's fashion model that's like not real. And I'm like, okay.
The way that was just, I was like, what am I not getting? Like, I was like,
No, you have to believe your eyes. I really like, I think, I mean, we're being lied to constantly.
Of course.
And I'm seeing like otherwise smart people fall for it. And you have to believe your eyes.
Wait, so you mean you have to believe that it's not real?
yeah, like when you see,
If you're looking at little Michaela and you're like, this is bullshit, believe that.
Yeah.
Believe your instinct.
like when you're reading an article that's like, meet the newest fashion model that's not real, be like, this doesn't make any sense because it's not real.
Yeah, right. Totally.
I'm like, it's just literally like, wait, so how is she wearing clothes if she's not real?
Here's my question. I feel like everyone, this goes back to, Kamala falling out of a coconut tree. I think everyone is acting like they fell out of a coconut tree. And recently what I've noticed is that the one thing in culture that people seem to be looking right through and not believing is Camila Cabello.
Whoa.
Oh, I have so much
Isn't
to say
that crazy?
about her.
Like, because I'm like, I actually feel bad for her because I'm like, she's doing the same thing everyone else is doing. She's doing, she hired a team to rebrand her. She's like, this is her new era. She looks great, whatever. And for some reason, she's the one everyone hates. And all the other, but all the other girls doing the same thing, everyone is like, oh yeah, she's mother.
You know what I think, though? I don't think she had a grassroots movement. I think she's sort of Biden of pop girls.
Well,
Sure.
yeah. It was,
but I mean, other ones also didn't have, like, I guess you're right.
I feel like it was very much like 4 guys in a room, and they were just like, this is what's cool now.
Yeah.
But I don't know why I'm being so combative, but I'm like,
I love it.
This idea that like other pop stars don't have 4 guys in a room saying this is what you're going to do. That is what like is
we're not saying that.
Oh, we're not saying that.
We're just saying that she hides it worse.
I think
She
it's
hides
just
it
because
worse.
she was
Okay.
very much like, to me, is she not to you guys like Selena Gomez level? Like that to me is her as an artist, like straight out of the factory.
She's kind of Selena Gomez level.
But then Selena Gomez is a great example of someone who, but 4 guys do every time decide what the next thing will be, and yet everyone eats it up.
Well, but she is so honest about it.
Yeah.
She's like, no, I'm barely me. Like, I'm
Yeah.
4
Is that true?
guys. That's the
4
difference.
guys.
That's the difference for me. Is
Yes.
I'm 4 guys in a trench coat.
Yeah, I think
I-
she doesn't pretend to be an artist. She's like, yeah, they wrote this song for me, and like they auto-tuned the fuck out of it, and here it is.
Right.
Oh, interesting.
I think,
because I was like, I thought the whole thing was, it's like when, the breakup song came out, it's all about Justin Bieber and she's so raw and she always talks about mental health. No?
I agree with that, but I want to say to me, the difference between Camila Cabello is that she's like acting like she's taking the success of like Charlie and being
Yeah.
like, this is mine now, and just being like,
I see.
like Kim Petras, like, which those probably also went through like a lab. But
Of course.
there's
Yeah.
something about Camila that's like, oh, this is cool now. Like, I want to be mother.
Totally.
She jumped from A to C, and she forgot to do B in the middle.
Yep.
You know who else jumped from A to C and forgot to do B was Christina Aguilera when she did Stripped, and somehow she pulled it off. And I think we don't appreciate how challenging that was.
Huh.
What is she up to these days?
She just opened an amazing new store. It's called Ew.
Ew, that's her. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's awesome. Because she just wanted to like relax and just
Right.
like sell stuff.
Right. There's
Yeah.
something, it's like the new makeup brand, like celebrities' makeup brand is sunglasses, actually.
Totally. Oh my God, celebs should do sunglasses.
Yeah.
Wait, should we end this podcast? Should we do our final segment?
I guess I have. I guess. I mean, we are running out of time.
I mean, I'm not trying to be like that guy.
No, you're not. No, I feel like I've been so scatterbrained, and I'm like, when you're like, sometimes at the end of the podcast, I'm like, wait, okay, just make one good point, and it'll make up for everything.
Oh, literally, I know exactly that feeling. Yeah. Do you want to make a really good point really fast?
Literally, the only point I was thinking of making is, get ready for this. Why is makeup the thing celebrities make when it's so like clearly not something they can make themselves? Like it's chemistry. Celebrities should start making little friendship bracelets that they make themselves with beads, and then at least it would feel more authentic.
Right. Like crochet bags for the grocery store. Yeah.
I'm like, a makeup of all things? That seems like so difficult. It seems difficult to make, and there's so many risks involved because it could cause you a rash.
Yeah.
Celebrity makeup is sort of like the Lil Michaela of merch.
Yeah.
They're like, it's like, it's so clear that it's, they don't have any hand in it. They just say like, okay.
Yeah.
And then like,
at
why?
what point do we revolt? Like, at what point do I storm the Capitol if I hear one more person be like, yeah, I just saw the market and didn't see anything for girls like me, so I got in the lab and like did some experiments. And meanwhile, it's Sabrina Carpenter.
Right, and they all are the same. I totally agree with you. Like, what type of creative vision are you bringing to this? You're just like, I love rouge. It's like, what is different about Sabrina Carpenter and Ariana Grande's highlighter stick?
It's insane, and I actually feel that, I think Gaga is always sort of a lightning rod. I think she like tends to, when she does something, then people start to hate it. And I think she is maybe doing a public service by doing house labs and having she's raising awareness for how stupid celebrity makeup.
It was the nail in the coffin for celebrity makeup.
Truly.
Definitely.
And I'm excited to see what industry she kills next. Yeah. Maybe the concert film.
I think cinema. Yeah.
Yeah. Grassroots organization. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Okay. Do you feel that you made a point?
I thought that was good.
Yeah. All right. Let's do our final segment.
Will you explain it? I've been doing so much explaining.
I would be thrilled to explain it. Our final segment is called Shoutouts, and in this segment, we pay homage to the grand straight tradition of the radio shoutout. Think Z100, think TRL, you're shouting out to your squad back home, recommending something you're absolutely capital O obsessed with.
I actually do have one.
Okay, Slay, go.
Are you standing up?
What's up, freaks, losers, and needless to say, the perverts around the globe? I want to give a huge shout out to, I'm not wearing them right now, but cowboy boots. I recently got my first pair of cowboy boots because, as you know, I am in the West. I'm trying to create a narrative. I'm trying to feel a story and a myth around the West. And so I got cowboy boots, and they are so silly. And suddenly they're unlocking a whole new side of me. I feel like I'm not wearing them right now, so don't even look. And I wanted to wear them, but I thought, who has the time? But I feel so masculine. I feel like I live in a truck. I see how now I keep seeing sort of other people's cowboy boots, and I'm like, you're wearing, it almost feels like fetish gear in the sense that you're wearing like this whole boot and no one knows about it. I'm sort of like, you have to be honest with people and tell them you're wearing a giant boot under that pant. I feel silly when it's fun to go to someone's house wearing them and they make you take your shoes off, and then you take off a huge boot and they're like, you were wearing that? And you're like, yeah, I don't know. I'm just experimenting and trying to have some fun out here. So shout out to cowboy boots, shout out to LA, shout out to Cali, and shout out to fashion. XOXO.
Wow.
Sam.
Wow.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. It's been interesting.
I really would love to see those on you.
Yeah, I should have worn them.
Yeah.
It's also fun to be like, wait, how do you wear cowboy boots? So now I keep trying to look in film and TV and see people who wear cowboy boots and be like, how did they wear it?
Are you wearing them your underpants mostly?
Underpants.
Yeah, not tucked in.
Yeah. And I think the tactic I've been going with right now to try to meld my style is Brad Pitt in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where it's like Hawaiian shirts and cowboy boots.
I can see that for you.
And that's pretty fun, actually.
Wow.
It's funny, cowboy boots are actually a natural next step for you stylistically, but it had never occurred to me.
It had never crossed my mind. And they are still weird. Like whenever I wear them, I feel like someone's going to point at me and be like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Like laughing.
Sam, you stay reappropriating Americana.
That's so true. George, do you have one?
Yes, I have one. What's up, cinephiles? It's me, Letterboxd user George Civeris, with a shout out today. I want to shout out Elaine May. I have been I've had watched all her films except Ishtar, and I was always like, what if I watch it, I don't like it? What if everyone's right? What if it is the biggest flop in Hollywood history? Let me tell you something. I was laughing along. The people that really need to be on the hook for that are the lead actors, specifically Warren Beatty, who is the equivalent of dropping a giant rock inside a lake and hearing it thump every time he's on screen. I am not convinced he is a bankable leading man, and I will say that with confidence in the year 2024.
Wow.
But the fact that her entire career was ruined because that movie was such a flop, I don't think so, honey. to quote my dear friends at our sister podcast, Las Culturistas, everyone needs to go stream The Heartbreak Kid. You need to go stream A New Leaf, Ishtar. This is one of our great comedic minds, and she hasn't been allowed legally to make a film since the late 80s.
Wow.
And you know why? Because of misogyny and sexism that are institutionalized in the Hollywood system in entertainment, and I'll say it, globally, politically, socially, and aesthetically.
Whoa.
So it is time that men are banned from making movies, and she is allowed to make one final one. Realistically, she's not getting any younger. I need her to make one final movie, maybe with a big star, maybe with a Sydney Sweeney. Actually, no, Sydney Sweeney is not very good at comedy, but maybe with a big comedic star of her choice.
Maybe Kristen Wiig.
Shout out. Maybe Kristen Wiig.
And it's a Junie B. Jones remake.
Junie B. Jones.
Yeah.
Honestly, get Elaine May to direct the Junie B. Jones as a sex worker comedy. All right. And that's what I have to say.
Woo! Okay, Courtney, whenever you're ready.
What up, freaks and geeks? It's Coco here. I want to shout out the concept of owning a printer at your own home.
Wow.
This is something that I recently took on. I bought a printer at Target. I actually forgot to get the paper, so that was crazy. So we ordered that on Amazon. I think it's amazing to have a printer at home because it's so embarrassing to have to go to FedEx or UPS and have to print something out for $3, whatever it is. But what I also have to say is that it was really exciting to have to put something together and kind of really work that part of my brain that we don't often work. Usually, you get your Apple Watch, it's already set up, but the printer, you're actually putting ink in, and you're putting a CD in your computer actually to connect it, which is crazy.
That is crazy.
And you're calling your friend Dash Turner to help you do it. So it's embarrassing. It was enlightening, and I think that everyone should own a printer at home if that's something that your family wants to do.
Wow. Woo. That's really amazing. So you're sort of returning to the earth and putting together printers.
Right, yeah.
That's amazing. I do find the shame of going to a FedEx to print sort of inspiring. I think it keeps me humble and grounded.
Well, then you have to email the UPS store, like, your thing.
It's a nightmare.
They're just like, this is my pilot that I'm like trying to edit. So,
and they're like, yeah, I love like printing out stuff that is so embarrassing there.
Yeah. Or like a return label that you have to then take to USPS.
Yeah. It's a nightmare, but taking care of a printer is as hard, if not harder, than taking care of a child.
Yep.
So I don't know if I'm ready for that responsibility, but I support you and your choice.
Well, this has been an absolute delight. I wish I could rent Courtney to have her be in my apartment and tell jokes to me for a week.
Honey, it'd be expensive, let me tell you.
Oh my God. You can't turn this thing off. Yeah, thanks for doing the pod.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so fun.
Okay, bye.
Love ya, chica.